Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Beast of the Mesazoic 1/35th Scale Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Kickstarter version. For those who don't know, the Beast of the Mesazoic line is a line of dinosaur figures that it's supposed to be highly articulated, but also being as scientifically accurate as possible. I reviewed one of these figures before in the past. I reviewed the Velociraptor, like, way back when. So, yeah. A few years later, we finally have our hands on the Tyrannosaur line. So we have a bunch of different Tyrannosaurs. Obviously, we have T-Rex, but we also have dinosaurs like Guanlong. I believe Tarbosaurus. I could be wrong. These are all I don't know. I know there are different waves of these figures as far as like the Tyrannosaur series goes. So like I don't know which ones are out. All I know is that my Kickstarter version of the T-Rex came in, and yeah, but they do plan on making a bunch of other, Tyrannosaur figures, so definitely be on the lookout for that if that's your thing. Um, I don't have the money to buy every dinosaur in the line, admittedly, because these are, right off the bat, I'm just going to say these are pretty pricey figures, but if I had to go with one, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go with the T-Rex. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't really have a whole lot else to say, so let's just get right into this. Before we take a look at the figure itself, I just want to quickly take a look at its accessories. First of all, we have this very nice collector's card here, very reminiscent of the collector cards from the old Kenner Jurassic Park figures, which is pretty cool, with some incredible artwork here. I love this piece to death. On the bottom corner here, we have Beasts of the Mesozoic. And on the back here, we have a nice picture of the figure, as well as some facts about T-Rex and some information about CreativeBeast.com and David Silva and all that, so if you want to read that, go ahead. Beast of the Mesozoic up here, and a nice little callback to Walking with Dinosaurs. So, yeah. So that's pretty much it for the collector card. We have this base stand for the figure that is optional. One thing that I really didn't like about the Velociraptor figure was that you needed the base stand in order for him to stand up, but with the T-Rex, he stands perfectly fine on his own. And this is just a optional thing, and I like that. The painting and sculpting here looks great. The detailing especially looks phenomenal, but I don't know. Like I feel like the pegs are a little too big because I can't really seem to like get the foot in there because like the bottom of the feet here, there are holes. Obviously like they're supposed to like plug in, but like they don't really fit that well. So like I don't really know what's going on there. So that's a little annoying, but it still looks nice. So there is that. We also get a pair of alternate legs, which I kind of get why they're here, but at the same time I kind of don't get why they're here. These legs have more points of articulation than the ones that come on the figure, but like I don't know, would it make sense to just kind of, have these like, on the base figure? I mean, granted, like these legs unfortunately can't really hold the T Rex, so it's also just kind of like if they can't. I mean, that's why we have like the other pair of legs, so that way like the T Rex can stand on its own. But still, like I don't know, like I would have preferred just like sturdier joints with these things being able to actually carry the figure. But that's just me. I mean, the option is still there, and it's still nice that they included that as an option, but still, I would have preferred just like sturdier joints that held the T Rex properly. So yeah. Also, one thing this was an issue with the Raptor figure, but why would you paint these pegs? Like as you can see here, like the paint chipping here is like pretty brutal. There's like a lot of chunks of paint just chipped off this peg here. I mean, granted, you're not gonna see this when these are like on the T Rex itself, but it's still here, and it's like, why would you paint these? Just make it like, don't paint them. But I digress. Still, like, I don't fully get why these alternate legs are here, but I kind of do. It's kind of weird. It's still appreciated, but yeah, I don't know about these. We also get a pair of tiptoe feet and some running feet. These alternate feet kind of easily pop on the alternate legs. You do have to, put a little bit of pressure on them because it's a little tight to get them on there. But once they are on, and they are not going anywhere, which is really nice. You can get the T-Rex into this running pose, which is really nice looking. I do like it, but, you know, you can't really stand, you know, like this. If you get the stand here and plug it in, then he should be able to, like, you know, stand on his own. I have seen this figure stand on one leg using the stand, and it looks really cool. But again, like, the pegs are way too big, and, like, they don't fit in the peg holes at all. It's like, it kind of goes in, but, like, not really. That's, yeah. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's just, it's a little frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. And those are all the accessories. On paper, I like them. You know, they look really nice, but I think the execution could have been a little better. So, the accessories, you know, it is nice that they're here. It does, you know, add to the value of this figure, but I think the accessories could have been handled a little better. Specifically the stand, like, I just don't really get, like, the pegs don't really fit into the holes at the bottom of the feet in the T-Rex, so I don't get that. But regardless, you know, the accessories, they look really nice, and on paper, you know, they're really cool. I really like the collector's card, but yeah, the accessories, not the biggest fan, admittedly. Not terrible, but still not my favorite. Now, moving on to the T-Rex itself, we're going to start by talking about the paint, like usual. And the painting on this figure is very nice, so let's take a closer look at that. So as you can see here, most of the body here is this very nice shade of, like a very dark shade of brown, almost like a black color, which I think looks very nice. And even if you look closely here, you can see there's like a little bit of, you know, some red highlights between all the scales and everything like that, which I think looks very good. You know, the back of the leg here and the underside of the tail here is a nice tannish color with, you know, some white dry brushing here to really make the detailing pop, and again, I just think that looks phenomenal. Going to the legs here, we have some streaks going down here. That's like a kind of like a greenish, like orangish color. I think that looks nice. And the toenails here are painted a nice orangish brownish color as well. And they even painted the dew claw here, which is a nice touch. Again, that same coloration for the underside of the tail continues to the underside of the chest here. And the fingernails here are painted the same color as the toenails here. And the back here we have some nice orange patterns here, which looks very nice. The underside of the throat has a nice bit of red underneath it, which is very reminiscent of the Walking with Dinosaurs T-Rex. You know, the T-Rex that this color scheme is based on. You know, the eye crest here and the end of the snout here, a nice shade of tan, which I think looks nice. And even the lips here have a nice shade of painting to them. The eyes here are painted orange with black pupils, and as you can see, this figure is looking perfectly straight, which I think looks very nice. And lastly, going to the inside of the mouth here, the inside of the mouth here has a nice glossy finish over this nice salmon pink for the tongue and the membranes and all that, which I think looks very nice. And the teeth here are painted a nice white color. So, yeah. And that's pretty much it for the painting on this figure. And the painting here, I think, looks very nice. Honestly, no complaints whatsoever. The painting on this figure is honestly pretty much perfect. So the painting on this figure, I'd say definitely gets a pass. Now we'll take a look at the articulation. And the articulation on this figure is pretty nice. The mouth can open and close like so. I have a ball joint at the base of the head here, and a ball joint at the base of the neck here, which I feel like it would have been nice if there was like more range of movement in the head here and in the neck, but you know, I digress. There's a ball joint at the shoulders here, which I think is nice, and we have a bend in the elbows here as well. We have some waist articulation here. You can't really do a whole lot with it, but you know, it is there, which is, you know, nice. The legs can kick about that far, and they can kick backwards about that far. So there's that. there's a swivel here, and these, there's supposed to be a bend in the knees here, but for some reason, it's very tight here, so I don't want to risk breaking it, but if you can bend the knees here, then good for you, because, the joint is there. You can see the joint here, but again, mine is just very tight, so I don't want to risk breaking this guy. We have a ball joint at the base of the tail here, a ball joint here at the tail, a ball joint here, and lastly, unfortunately, we have a bendy wire in the tail. I really don't like bendy wire like figures at all, because either the wire inside is going to snap at one point, or it's just going to tear through the rubber piece surrounding it. So yeah, not a big fan of bendy wire tails. Just give me just a regular like ball jointed like segmented tail. That would have been really nice, but it is what it is. But yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the articulation on this figure. Um, like I just said like a second ago, I don't like the bendy wire like in the tail there, and the knees on mine are a little too tight. But other than that, though, there could have been more articulation in the neck. Like I don't know, just more of like a range of movement there would have been nice. But overall, the articulation on this figure, it's not bad. I do like it. So yeah, the articulation here is good. It gets a pass. Now we're going to talk about the sculpting. And the sculpting on this figure, I'm just going to say it. The sculpting on this figure, in my opinion, is pretty damn perfect. Like, this thing looks phenomenal sculpt-wise. And paint-wise, too. But sculpt-wise, this thing is just amazing. This is going to sound like such a minor thing, but it's so unbelievably cool to have a T-Rex figure with lips. Like, I know it's such a minor thing, but, like, most, if not all of the T-Rex figures that I own, like, they have their teeth showing, I love Jurassic Park. I love the Jurassic Park dinosaurs. The Jurassic Park dinosaurs, not the Jurassic World dinosaurs. It's the Jurassic Park dinosaurs are the ones I love. I love Rexy, to death. Do not get me wrong, but I also really love, scientifically accurate dinosaurs too, and I think that this figure delivers that pretty much perfectly. The lips here, like, the lips look great. They cover the teeth beautifully. And that's my issue with the PNSO Wilson, the Tyrannosaurus. It looked nice for the most part, but it didn't have lips. Its teeth were just sticking out, and it looked kind of ugly, and I wasn't the biggest fan of that. But this figure has lips, and it looks perfect. And the rest of the sculpting here is pretty much perfect as well. The proportions, one of the reasons why I actually got this version in particular was because, I do like Walking with Dinosaurs. It's not my favorite documentary out there, but still, I do like that documentary series. However, I will admit, the T-Rex model in that show looks very bad. So, it's nice to have a Walking with Dinosaurs T-Rex figure without really having a Walking with Dinosaurs T-Rex figure. Like, I love the color scheme of that design, but just the actual, like, body build looks terrible. So, it's nice to have a T-Rex colored after the one from Walking with Dinosaurs while also looking, visually pleasing. So, yeah. Sculpting on this figure, perfect. 10 out of 10. Wouldn't change anything. Sculpting here, absolutely amazing. So, the sculpting here definitely gets a pass. Now, we're going to be taking a look at the detailing, and ladies and gentlemen, strap in, because the detailing on this figure is something else. So, let's take a closer look. So going to the head here, we can see all of the scales here are very beautifully defined here. Like the detailing here, this is unreal. This looks like a real animal. Like I know like the seams for like the joints and all that, but like the detailing here is like actually like kind of insane. Like all the scaling here, like it's so small but it's so beautifully defined, and even like all the wrinkles like around the eye here, it just looks phenomenal. And going to the neck here, again, all the creases and wrinkles, and all the scaling, the detailing here is just beautiful. The underside of the neck here, again, just looks great. The side of the figure, again, like, look at that. Like, all the, like, wrinkles and creases and all that, and all the little scales, like, that's perfect. Like, if you were to look up perfection in the dictionary, like, this is what you'd find. This looks, like, just incredible. And even the arms here, the musculature here looks very nice, and again, all the little scales and all the little like wrinkles and creases in the skin there just looks phenomenal. You know, going to the legs here, again, the scaling, pretty much perfect. A lot of beautiful, like, creases and wrinkles and all that. And the scales, like I just said. The musculature here is just detailed beautifully. It looks so real. Look at the... I can't stress this enough. The detailing here just looks beautiful. You know, going to the feet here. Again, the feet detailing here just looks really nice. Going to the tail here. Again, just like all the scales here. Just like... I probably sound insane right now, but like, just look at this. I have never seen this kind of detailing on a figure before. Like, this is like insane. Even like SH Monster Arts doesn't have this amount of detailing. Like, this is just beautiful. Like all the, you know, wrinkles and whatnot, and all like the scales in the tail here, it just looks phenomenal. And this really nice detailing just continues all the way to the end of the tail here. And yeah, the underside of the figure has a lot of great detailing as well. All the scales, all the wrinkles, and everything. It just looks beautiful. It just looks really nice. So, yeah. That's pretty much it for the detailing on this figure. Like I said, pretty much perfection. So, yeah, the detailing here, no question, definitely gets a pass. Now, we'll do some size comparisons. Here we have the Transformers Studio Series 86 Grimlock. Here we have the PNSO Wilson, the Tyrannosaurus, which I actually might sell because this guy's just so good. Here we have the Jurassic Park 25th Anniversary Chronicle Collectables statue, the smaller edition. Here we have the beasts of the Mesazoic Velociraptor. And these guys... obviously, they're not in scale with each other, but still, they're part of the same line, kind of, so I figured, why not include them here? And, of course, here we have some hand sanitizer. Here we have Dr. Billy Grant. So at the end of the day, should you get this figure? I know at the start of this video when I was talking about the accessories, I was kind of complaining about them. And to be fair, yeah, I don't really care too much for the accessories that are included in this figure. And the figure itself, there are some very minor things I do differently, but overall, I still absolutely love this thing. You know, the painting on this figure is phenomenal. The sculpting, the detailing, everything here is pretty much perfect. The articulation could have been a little better, you know, specifically with the neck, but overall, or also get rid of the bendy wire in the tail. That, I'm sorry, that just kind of sucks. But overall, you know, this figure is still absolutely phenomenal, and I can't recommend this figure enough. It is great. Unfortunately, this figure was exclusive, or this specific paint variant was exclusive to Kickstarter. So if you do want this specific variant, I don't think it's available anymore because I think it was like available for a limited time on Kickstarter. Of course, I backed the page like, you know, when it went up, but still though, yeah, I don't think this version is available anymore, which is kind of a shame. So if you do want this specific version, you're going to have to go to eBay. However, there's the standard version, which isn't really based on the Walking with Dinosaurs T-Rex. It's still a very nice figure. It's the same figure, just with a different coat of paint, and I still think the painting on that figure looks nice. I just want to go with this figure because, you know, I love Walking with Dinosaurs, but I don't love the T-Rex model in that, you know, series, so it's nice to have a nice-looking T-Rex model with that color scheme. So, yeah. Unfortunately, if you missed out on this figure, you're kind of out of luck. But, like I said, you know, the standard edition still looks very nice, so I definitely recommend that you pick this guy up. So, yeah, I think the standard edition is like $60. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure, but still. This guy, he's not cheap. You know, the standard version or the, you know, the Kickstarter exclusive version. So, yeah. Either way, this figure is phenomenal, and I recommend that you pick it up. Even if it does have a few minor flaws, still, I love this thing. So, yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.